Hello and welcome to this second tutorial on removing background colour in Photoshop. In the previous tutorial we covered the basics of using the Knock Me Black and Colour Out plugins and the principles of using a transparency layer to define our white underbase in preparation for printing onto a coloured t-shirt. In this session we're going to take a look at dealing with soft edge images. Okay, so let's get started. Now let's say I need to remove the white background from this image you can see on screen. I want to do this so I can print it onto a black shirt. Now first I'm going to grab the magic wand tool here on the left and click on the white background of my image. With the tolerance at the top here set to around 30, you can see the selection seems pretty good. So I can now go to the edit menu and select fill and flood this area with colour, in this case black. Now on first glance the results look pretty good, but watch as I zoom in close on the doe's back. You can see we have this halo effect around the edge, which will not look so good when the image is printed onto our black shirt. Basically, the furry edge of this image makes it difficult to remove the background properly, and whilst playing with the tolerance may help to remove more, we would still be left with an unsightly hard edge. What we really need to achieve is a nice soft blend between our image and the shirt, and at the same time maintain the natural furry look of the edge of the doe. This can be done using the Knock Me Colour Out plugin. However, I need to make sure I don't knock out other parts of the image that I actually need to keep, such as the white dots on the back and the area around the front of the image. To do this, I'm going to select the parts of the image I definitely want to keep, the areas I don't want to knock out. Now, there are many ways of making selections like this in Photoshop. Sometimes there is a quick fix, like using the magic wand and altering the tolerance to select certain regions and colours, but there will be other times when a little bit more time and patience is needed. For this example, I'm going to show you the basics of using the pen tool to create a path that will then become our selection. Okay, so the pen tool is located on the left here. Once clicked, you will see a few more options appear in the toolbar at the top. You need to have this center option marked Paths selected. It's also a good idea to have the history window showing as well. This makes it easy to navigate back if you make any mistakes. Okay, so remember the idea is to make a selection that encompasses all of the areas that we definitely need to keep. With this image, that basically means working around the perimeter of the doe on the inside of the furry edge. So let's get started and add our path. I'm going to click once on the edge here with the mouse button and release. You can see that the first anchor point has been applied to the image. This is our start position. Now I'm going to move the mouse to the right and click again, but this time I'm going to keep that left mouse button held down. Okay, now I still have my finger on the button. By doing this I can move the mouse and control the curve of the line I just created. Okay, so you can see it being adjusted here. It's simple to then bend this line in either direction simply by keeping that mouse button held down and moving the mouse around to the desired position. Now once I'm happy with the lay of the line, I can release the mouse button and continue along the edge of the doe, creating my path in the same way, just repeating that step. As long as I keep that mouse button held down, I can control that angle and then let go and move on. Now take a look at the history window as I'm doing this. You'll see as I create each new anchor point, a new entry is added. If I make a mistake, it's simple to jump back by however many points are necessary and rectify the error. Now whilst this process is not instant, it will get much faster with time and practice, and an image such as this would take no more than 2 or 3 minutes to complete. To save some time here, I'm going to skip forward to the last anchor point. Okay, so that's my selection path almost complete. I just need to close the path by clicking on my first anchor. And there we go, all done. The next stage is to make this path into a selection. And to do this, I'm going to go to this tab in the layer palette called Paths. And here you can see the path that we just made. Now I'm going to press and hold the Control key and then left mouse click. And you can see now the path has become a selected region, indicated by the marching ants on the screen. Now remember, the area that I have selected contains all of the parts I definitely want to keep when I run the Knock Me Color Out plugin. So to protect them, I'm going to move a copy of this region to a new layer. I'm going to go to the layer menu here and select New Layer via Copy. And this will create my new layer that contains our selection. If I now disable the original layer, it's clear to see what we are left with. Okay, so I can now run the Knock Me Color Out function. In the layer palette, I have my original layer with the complete image selected. I'm now going to go to the filter menu and select Knock Me Color Out. This time we're going to use white, so I'm going to select that on the original image as the color to knock out. And if I now switch to the shirt color view, I can then go ahead and adjust the underbase strength so that the hairs around the edge of the dough start to blend nicely with the shirt color. Now just how much blend is up to the user. The great part of this feature is seeing how the adjustments made are going to affect the end results. Now don't worry about the other white regions in the image like the dots. We'll come to this next. I'm pretty happy with the settings here, so I'm now going to click OK and exit back to the main screen. To finish up, I'm just going to select both layers and then go to the layer menu and select Merge. And that's it. Our protected region has been fused with the main image and all of the white areas we wanted to keep are still in place. However, we're left with a nice, soft, natural blend around the edge of the image. This technique will enable you to blend even the most complex images like fur and hair into your shirt, resulting in superior prints. So give this one a go yourself and see how simple it is to achieve. Now another tool that can help tremendously with this type of task is the history brush. It works by undoing changes in the areas you apply it to. So let's switch back to our dough before we started the process of selecting a region to protect. This time I'm simply going to run the Knock Me Color Out feature on the whole image. Okay, so pretty much the same settings here as before. Okay, that's all pretty good. I'm going to click OK again and move back to the main Photoshop interface. Okay, so that's all done, but as you would expect, we have knocked out the white color from the areas within inside the image as well, the stuff that we actually wanted to keep. Now I can use the history brush and start gently applying it to the areas I did not want to get rid of. And as you can see, they start to be restored. It's like having an undo wand that you can wave over chosen parts of your image. You can consider adjusting the flow, opacity, and even the style of brush to achieve better results. Well, that concludes this tutorial, but be sure to check out part 3, in which we're going to be taking a look at dealing with text and anti-aliasing.